Welcome to another episode of First Shoes. Today's episode, I'm going to focus on Carlton. I'm going to look at what they did really well in that first quarter to kick 6 goals against Essendon. Then from the second quarter, I had a look at some of the plays that unfolded from second quarter all the way through the second half. And there was a few instances there, they went back to their old ways, but there was a couple of plays in particular that I really want to dissect. I really want to look at why they're doing it, how it's unfolding, and try and give you a bit of an idea of how their structure, the defensive structure, is collapsing when this actually unfolds. So let's get in the clips and have a look at it now. So this is in the first quarter, so it's going inside Essendon's forward 50. And what Carlton were able to do in the first quarter was able to kick off the line. They used their skills really well, so great hard ball, contested ball win here by Sard, and a good kick across the body to set up. But what they did is they kicked off the line. They had Essendon's defence moving all the time. And what this allowed was movement up ahead, but also they were able to get their angles right. So you'll see in this play, early on in the game, go back off the mark, and they square it over here. But then they've got this set up. So it's about getting in the vision. So really good kick there. Not over passing lanes. So what I mean by passing lanes is if this player is standing here, I think it's Hollands, and you've got the man on the mark, that's over passing lanes. It's a really hard kick. You can't really see when you've got the ball. But when you're in between two guys, two opponents, it's a really straightforward kick. So really good kick there. So they get this here. Hollands gets back off the mark. There's that line. So it's not over passing lanes. They're not kicking here over passing lanes. They're not kicking here, once again, over passing lanes. And it's work up ahead. So this movement, this ball movement, actually creates really good angles. So they're able to, plus to their foot skills. And then all it is from McGovern is just drop it in this space. Because you've got 1, 2, 3 here. They can all go into that space. And DeConing, good running. And actually but once again, change angle. So he's not going towards goals. He's shifting. So in that whole passage of play there, they went right, they went left, they went straight, and now they've finished on their left side. So really good synergy there and good foot skills. So they're able to win at the contest as well. They're able to win at the source. They're able to support each other. Good hands. I love giving away, like I've said a lot. And Walsh was really good in that first quarter. Ability to get win it himself, but also be the receiver. But it's down the line, so good contested mark here. But it's squaring up. He's not even looking down the line. He's looking to square it up. There it is. So he's switched. He's switching the defence. The defence now, down the field, is now starting to come this way for the fat side kick. But when you do that little switch kick, it's only 20 metres, switches and creates all this space on this side of the ground. So everyone's started to shift now because it's a right footer. But this is a great kick, great lead from Curnow. And there's the space to lead into. Bang. So really good. So off the line kicking was really, really evident in that first quarter for Carlton. At the source, once again Walsh in the first quarter. Ability to win the ball, give the hands. Really good play. Get a bit lucky here, and he had no other options here, Akers, but they get a bit lucky here. They got a free. So and then play on. Really evident. And then just to kick it into space. Really good. Just bring the forward to the ball. He's outnumbered there, but he comes to the ball because it's such a great kick. Then gets back off the mark. Now he's facing his goals. Very important. Didn't turn his back, but Jesse Motlop, this is great. So he's running in, and then he darts back. So once again, changing the angles on the defender. So then he comes back, and then it's an easy dinky kick into space. Another set shot. So really, really evident in the first quarter about the ability to win it at the source, which was Walsh was really, really good at, and so was Cripper. But then the ability to use their feet and change angles, hit the targets, try and shift the Bombers' defence. So this is a perfect example of how they went from this side of the ground, and then they come back to this side of the ground, and this is where they end up kicking the goal from. So great work ethic here from De Koning. This previous play, he was actually in the forward line. They just missed him inside forward 50. He worked all the way back and got involved and took this contested mark. So great work ethic from TDK. So takes the mark. Really good. So gets back. Look, he's looking straight. Where's the ball come from? The ball has come that way. So where are all the numbers? Down there. We need to change. We need to switch the play. Not even looking. Not even look at his body. His shoulders are pointing that way. Not even worried about going down the line. So they moved. He moved off the line without even having looked down the line. So I switched the play. So this goes for a bit, this one. So I switch the play again. Got movement, which is good. Need to have that 45 movement, because what you're doing is just shifting all these numbers here for Essendon. Right, you're shifting them this way. So you're eliminating a lot of players from just doing this one chip. So they've kicked it in the pocket, and then you see all these numbers here for Essendon. There's a whole heap of defenders here. But I love this switch, because now, once you make a really big switch, they're out of play. And this is what's happened. You switch it to Silvani. Now, look at all that space you got free. Just by that one switch across, you eliminated all those, and now they've got to work hard. So now it's the honesty system. Who's willing to work harder across? Important he plays on, because you saw previously how much, but he has all that space in front of him. It's really important to take the grass. Just take it, get it moving, and it creates movement up ahead. They got the free Kerno. So work really, really hard on the lateral side. Now, because you've had that switch, because you've eliminated all those defenders, it's important to play on. Really smart. You've got to play on. You've got the switch. You've now played on. You've got momentum. Now you can get them on the goal side. So come across, and this is a really good kick. This is about changing the angles. He brings his teammate into that space. It's a brilliant kick. Jesse Motlop wins it. Hands off. Still moving. And now look at all those Essendon players that were standing around the 40-metre arc, and finishes off with a goal. So really good movement there from Carlton. I love how they switched it. Love how they came back. Love how they changed angles. Love how they took grass. That was the first quarter. Now I'll get into just things I saw creeping in that second half, the second, third and fourth quarter. Things that they need to really address and really look at. So one of the things they started to do was to bomb it. Now, in the first quarter, they used their hands away from the contest, which I'm a big advocate for. They're able to break the lines, break the defence, but then they just got into this mode where Saad's so quick. I know he's got another one of his teammates in front of him, but you'd like Saad to go, get the ball. He's already made up his mind. Already, the ball's in his hand now. He's already made up his mind to bomb it. Without making any step, he's just ready to bomb it. Bombs it out of the contest. Outnumbered, then it comes back inside their forward 50. So they just got into a little bit of a panic mode. Instead of having some poise, same again, goes inside forward, Essendon's forward 50. Great spoil here from Silvani. Give the hands away, really good. But then just to have the poise, just to actually give the hands. Haynes is calling for it. They've got another play here. And then on his left foot, they've got 2-on-1 out here. So just get the ball, use it, shift it, kicks it out, called deliberate. They kick it back inside forward 50 and Wright marks it. So they just suffocated their own self, Carlton. Instead of actually going back to their basics, give the first give, all that sort of stuff, they just got themselves going back to their old ways. And this is, yes, it's a skill error, But what I want to look at, the next two clips, is something, get the player from behind to actually make an impact and force the player with the ball to actually kick it or make it a decision, a rush decision. Clubs these days are playing a lot of handball games. So they're learning how to take the grass. They're learning how to go at the defender. If you come at them, it's easy. You just handball it. And you're watching these next two clips, what I'm talking about. This is something, I don't know. Obviously, it's a game style for Carlton, but it really can expose you a lot, and a defence can break down really quickly. So Cherry gets the ball here, gets back off the mark, and that's an easy. It's a bit of a skill error. Let's put it that way. You could put it in front of Jesse Motlop, not the tallest guy on the ground. Just kicks it over his head. But what I want to look at is what happens after it. So what they were trying to do is they're trying to go, once there's a handball over, they're trying to go at the handball receive. They're going to the handball receive. I didn't see any Carlton players coming back, holding space, being balanced, but allowing their teammate to run down the opponent from behind. So as you'll see here, handball over, and there's a handball to Goldstein. Now, what happens is the chain effect from these players down the field to come up, and what it does, it creates space over the top. So what you would like to have, so this player now comes up, right? What you would like to have is this player, yes, possibly go here. There's an Essendon player just here. So create a bit of balance. So what you do when you go to this player here, you're giving this player and this player an opportunity to chase the receiver down. Right? Get them to force. But when you come up, all of a sudden you eliminate 1, 2, and yourself, and then there's a handball receive. So like handball games. So this is exactly what happens. So bang, handball receive, right? Now this player here comes up. He should be trying to look for a receiver. In this case, it's this player here. Give these guys an opportunity to put pressure on the ball carrier from behind. But no, he comes up. Now he's eliminated. He's eliminated. He's eliminated. There's a handball receive. So there's the chain effect. Then, once again, so Wettering's here, right? Now he's pushing here instead of holding his position on this player. Now there's another chain effect. So then, handball receive, this player's then coming off instead of holding on this player. So now Wettering's in no man's land, and look who's free. So it's just like it's a chain effect. You've got to, in my opinion, you've got to stay back and have balance. Hold back, tread water, but allow your teammates from behind. Look how far Jesse Motlop's gone. He hasn't been able to have the opportunity to put pressure on. But look how far he's run. So he would have been able to, look, and he's quick. Give him opportunity. But because those players came up, you got another chain of handball over the top. And then there's free. They're out. And this is where Wright takes the mark at the top of the goal square. So this is the same thing. So Essendon back in their centre half back for Essendon. So come up. So then he leaves this player by himself. So this player's come up. Yes, you want to make a, but then Hewitt should be coming off to put him in two minds. Get him to with Wiedering down back being really good at intercept mark, you want to try and put pressure on them from behind or from the side to force it to kick it so they don't have this outlet. But then there's a handball out. Right? And then Hollins is now, what is he? He's in two minds. So then he decides to come at the receiver instead of coming back on this guy here. Right, so then all of a sudden, he should, with Hollins coming, he's in no man's land there, understandable. But then we should have this player coming across as well. So then he comes, and now he's eliminated. Now this player then should be coming up on this player. But he comes all the way here to make an impact. Allow these players here to come and put pressure on from behind. So he bypasses Durham. Now he's in no man's land. So he could have gone to the receiver here. I think that's Silvani that comes all the way through there. And now it's like a handball game. There. Now this player's got to come off. The chain effect. And all they do is wait for that player to come to them, come off again, and they just missed a handball there to Durham. But look, they're two out there, and they go inside forward 50. So I just think that that Carlton needs to tidy that up. I think they need to have some more balance. Turn their head, look for the most dangerous player, but allow for those for their teammates from behind to actually chase them down. Rightio, so you could see what they were doing in the first quarter was really, really good. So they were using their foot skills really well. They were creating different angles. They were kicking off the line. They were creating movement up ahead. So by them shifting positions, they were creating movement up ahead, which is really good. But in that from the second quarter on, probably halfway through the second quarter, I just want them to have some balance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a drill you can do on the whiteboard that gives you the opportunity to train how to actually turn your head and actually go to the receiver instead of actually going at the ball carrier, but allowing one of your teammates from behind to actually put pressure on. Okay, this drill, you can do it at any size. So it's the idea of this drill is to actually teach the defenders, so the defenders are obviously the X, how to actually be involved and turn your head. So So the square is the coach. Then you have the circles are going this way. If you want to do that, the circles are the ones that are going to have the outnumber. Then you've got a defender here. Right, so defenders are obviously the X's. So how the drill works is you roll the ball to this player here, and then they've got to go into pretty much a handball game. So effectively you're 5-on-3, but you've got a chaser from behind. So they have to make a decision. So the chaser's role is to put pressure on the ball carrier, and then the X's have got to try and identify who the dangerous player is. So whether they come up or whether they spread across to the right or left to try and hold and go at the ball carrier. The idea of the X's, is to have trust in this player to actually put pressure on. Yes, you've got to understand what's going on in front of you, but you've also got to be mindful of what's behind you, and that's where this communication comes into play for these two X's. So you've got to play it in a square, in a really small and confined area, but this drill is for the defenders, so the X's. So for them to actually turn their heads, to try and pick up the most dangerous. As you saw on those clips there from Carlton, you don't want to come too quickly and be eliminated. You actually want to tread a little bit of water. You want to tread a little bit of water because you've got a defender here, or you've got your teammate as chasing down from behind. For the circles, it's quick hands. So you want to go quick hands. You're 5-on-3. You should be able to try and get through. But the main drill of this is to teach the X's to turn their heads, to be patient, to tread water, to not rush too early, and to get this player, or if they handball off, it's only handball, to make a decision whilst you've got your teammate running from behind. So it's a really good drill, good instinctive drill, but also a great drill for the defenders to try and identify what the most dangerous is, who's the potential receiver. Don't creep too, tread water a little bit, try and hesitate, but try and force the circles to make an error. And in this situation, when you compare it to what I showed you with Carlton, if you hold back on the receiver or potential receiver and allow your teammate to run from behind, you could potentially force them to kick it long, and that's the win, because then you've got one-on-ones down the ground. So it's a really good drill to actually try and teach both sides, but mainly the defenders. So there you go. Hopefully you got a little bit out of how Carlton and what actually transpired. Essendon put a lot of pressure on them in the second half. You could tell they squeezed them up. They didn't allow them to have the switch as frequently as they did in the first quarter. So credit to Essendon as well. But that one area of defence of trying to hold and trying to be patient, but giving confidence for your teammates to run down from behind from Carlton's perspective, I reckon they've got to tidy that up. Clubs are so good these days. If you rush at them, they're really good with their hands. They have support from behind, and it just becomes a handball game, and then they just continue. You saw in those two passages where they're able just to get over those layers of defence. So at some point, I'm not saying all those players gravitate back, but at some point, one player has to hold back, has to be holding back, treading water, trying to pick off the receiver, and just giving confidence for your teammate down the line to chase down from behind and put pressure on and force them to either kick it or force them into error. Hopefully you got a little bit out of that episode today. Thanks for all your support.